Erik Braund. I am hailing from Anchorage, Alaska. I was born and raised in Alaska. My previous career was doing things like this, setting up screens, computers, audio, video, everything technical. I'd like to get a sense for who's in the audience, if you don't mind. By show of hands, who here is on Zoom or Teams daily? Quite a few of you, all right. Has anybody here experienced what we call Zoom fatigue? Has anybody here moved farther away in the last 3 years from your office, where your office was in 2020? All right. I'm pretty guilty of that. I moved 2 hours north. Now I'm in the Catskills, in the wild north here. Not going to talk to you about AI today so much as I am about something that is AI adjacent, which is the future of work. The future of work, as we can see now, is a little bit unpredictable. Remote work often requires some strong internet connectivity. Right now, I can't even get internet on my phone or Ethernet, so we're gonna wing it a little bit. What we have done is we have applied new technology to the future of work. So when we think of working from home, and we think of being on a trip and being able to just have a call with people, it's great, it keeps us together, but it's not necessarily the most efficient way to run a company. Even Zoom recently announced that they're clawing back all 8,000 Zoom employees to the office because they've said Zoom is not the way or the most efficient way to run a company. So thank God for Zoom in 2020 because it kept us all connected, it kept the global economy moving, it kept us moving through all of our challenges. The thing that has happened, though, is we've lost culture. We've lost touch with each other. We've lost mentorship. We have lost things like, hey, can I bug you for 2 minutes to bounce an idea off of you? I don't know if you experience this, but if someone calls my cell phone, my response is, oh my God, is everything okay? Like, why are you calling me? Is everything all right? Just checking in here. We might still make it. So at Katmai, what we've done is we have built a 3D engine, and typically it loads up very successfully in about 5 seconds. And yeah, we're going to give it a shot. So we spent the last 3 years building a 3D engine, and what happens is it fires up very quickly, generally, in a web browser, and it loads an environment. The environment that we have is a virtual office. That's our first product. And what it allows us to do is be in a virtual place together, but in a way that feels very natural. So I have a headset. I think the headset is rather dystopian, personally. I don't think the future of work exists by putting goggles on all of us and not being able to make eye contact. I think eye contact is the way to go. At Katmai, we think that in real life is the preferred way of communicating. So sitting down, having a meal, having a conversation, that's this end of the spectrum, IRO. That's what we think is the most powerful. And at the other end of the spectrum, we see meeting software. Meeting software is excellent. Your Zoom, your Teams, your WebEx, Google Meets. It's excellent to have a meeting with a specific group of people at a time and a place in the future. Then there's this big chasm in between, which we think that Katmai's software kind of solves and bridges that gap. I promise you, I'm gonna get this darn thing to load, and we're gonna show it to you here in a moment. So what we've done, instead of taking the digital avatar, we've said, hey, everyone's camera, phone, iPad, everyone's computer, phone, iPad, we all have cameras, we all have speakers, we all have microphones now. So we've leveraged technology to say, we're gonna cut you out and put you in the 3D environment. And it's you, it's a live video of you, it's live audio of you, it's not a cartoon of you. So this product, this virtual office, is very much a B2B product. It's a business-to-business product, because we think doing business with cartoon versions of each other is not the way to have the most professional conversations. I think it's interesting for a happy hour, it's interesting for gaming, for socializing, but when it comes to genuine human connection that we're trying to do remotely, I want to make some eye contact. I want to have a sense of who you are. And what doing that in a 3D environment allows you to do is you now have agency. You now have, I can move left, I can move right, I can come and go. What I'm going to take you into here in a moment is our virtual office, our headquarters. So we're somewhere between 30 and 40 employees. We're a fully remote company. We span from Alaska to the Netherlands. We spend 10 hours of time zones, and we work together in an office. We have never gotten a physical office. We have absolutely no plans to. We don't make video calls. We have a start and a stop to our end day, or our work day. We have a cadence. So most of us are on the East Coast. So around 10 a.m. you'll see, man, there's 20 people in the office, and then there's 25, and then there's 30. And it's this environment that you can come and go to, and you have the presence of everybody, and you can pop in and have a conversation, and then you can close the door and say, I'm busy, or you can have a private conversation and you can close the door. But most importantly, what happens in a virtual office environment is there is spontaneity and there is culture. So an example I'm going to give you of a fully remote company working in this way, we had an offsite on Monday in New York City, and there were 4 of us there. And as a group, we had all never met. I had never met 2 of the people, and they had not met each other at all. And we walked in and sat down in the conference room we borrowed from our lawyer, because I am not going to rent an office. And it took me an hour to realize, we have never met each other, because we just sat down and got to work, because we've interacted in a natural kind of casual environment. You having any luck over here? We're checking. It's all right. We wing it. We do have a booth right over there. If you look to your right, there's a Katmai booth. The office is up and running. It's on some gigantic TVs. You can go actually sit down at laptops over there, and you can interact with our staff, and you could actually see this thing. So it is up and running over there for the day. We're just having a challenge up here. Someone asked me in that meeting, hey, Erik, if we didn't have Katmai as a company, what would happen to us and the way that we work? And my response was like, oh my God, we would be instantly worse as a company, like absolutely instantly worse. And this is because I'm based in the woods in the Catskill Mountains. We've got people in Manhattan. We have people in lovely New Jersey. We have people in Alaska. We have people in the Netherlands. But our way of work is one that we get to be wherever we want, crack a laptop open, go into the office, and we are with our people. We are with our team. So I have one standing meeting a week with our chief product officer. And you can imagine, like this, I started this company, this is my baby, I have put my entire life into this company, quite literally for the last 3 years. All of my life, my money, everything, I'm still married, thank God, but we don't have any money left. My mother-in-law says, hey Erik, how's your website doing? The answer today is it's not loading, but that's okay. But what we have is we have culture, and we have a start and an end to our workday. So by show of hands, does anyone feel like remote work drags on forever? It drags on Thursday night. It drags on Saturday morning. All right, so only 3 of you feel like remote work drags on forever. All right, 4 of you, thank you. What's up?
I have really fast Wi-Fi right now.
We do.
I am plugged in.
Oh, beautiful.
Let's see if it loads.
We're gonna give it a try.
I think it'll work. I was pulling 100 down off that, so it should not be a problem.
You know what? We're gonna give it a shot and see if the internet gods are shining on us. Can you ask one of my guys for another laptop? Ricky, we try another laptop. I want to show this on the big screen if we can try it. Thank you. Same shit. You know what? It's all right. We're gonna live with it. We've got it working at the booth. I appreciate you trying to. It's not happening. It's all right. We've got a booth. It's working over there. So back to the start and the stop of the workday. One of the things that I firmly believe in as the culture driver for the company is the day's over. It's Thursday at 5 o'clock. The day's over. Like, we don't need to drag on overnight. We don't need to check Slack all night unless there's some we have an order of emergencies and these sorts of things. But when you close it, it feels like leaving a place. Like when you close the window, you're like, oh, my workday's done. Day's over. Slack is closed. I'm out of the office. I have left a place, but I'm still sitting in my same desk in my home office. And then kind of when you sit down and go to work in the morning, it's like, I have my routine. I've thought about it yesterday morning. It's like I have the same routine. I drop my kids off at school. I come home. I get the biggest thing of coffee I can, and I go down into the room under the garage that is my home office. And I have this moment where I'm like, okay, I'm in a place. I'm going into another place. And I walk in, and I see who's there. And it's not I wonder who's at work. It's not that at all. There's none of that. It's, oh, Michael's here. Michael lives on a sailboat. I hired Michael 2.5 years ago when he lived on a sailboat just over there. Now it's somewhere, up north. He's going to the Bahamas for the winter. He said that last year, and he docked in New Jersey. But I can go have a conversation with the guy on the sailboat that's impromptu. So back to my chief product officer and I, and our cadence. We are attached at the hip, right? I need to be talking to him daily about this technology we built and the products we're building on top of it. I have one scheduled meeting with him a week, and that's our leadership meeting on Wednesdays. Probably talk to him 30 times a week, 5 times a day, 10 times a day. We don't ever talk for more than 5 minutes because it's can I bug you for 5 minutes? Let's check out on this thing. I see you, you're right there. Oh, I'm not gonna bug you because you're in a meeting with your team. I'm not gonna go barge in on that. But we have visibility and we have a shared experience throughout the day. And what do we miss about the office? People that like going back to the office? Part of it's I wanna get out of my house, but a lot of it is I just wanna be around people. We're human beings. We need to be around people. We need to do what we're doing right now. And I firmly believe that as someone that's building technology to bring us together virtually. The first thing is, let's be here together, right? The second thing is, well, we could go to a virtual place together and still look like ourselves and feel like ourselves, because if I dressed myself up as an avatar, I'd probably be 25 pounds skinnier and my hairline would be a little bit farther forward. I would just look like a cartoon version of me that is not me. But here I am, for better or for worse, my website's not working. We're still here. We're sharing an experience. We're connecting with each other. And truly that is what Katmai is able to bring. And it's not just us feeling this. So we were in stealth mode for 3 years. We're in closed beta. We're gonna come out of closed beta. We have customers. And the best thing, the best moment for me so far has been, I get to stop talking about Katmai and I get to start listening to other people talk about their experiences and what has happened for their company and how we've helped transform the way they work. Small companies you know what? We raised money. We're not gonna get an office. We don't need it. Another company says, hey, this allows people to move to the countryside. We don't all need to be in Oslo. We can be all around Norway. But we're connected. We don't get feedback so far that's oh, I don't wanna have my camera on, and we have an ICP. As a tech company, as a startup, it's our job to say, who is our ideal customer profile, right? We've learned how to find the types of companies that this just adds value to instantly. And a lot of that is startups, it's younger companies, it's tech companies, it's companies that are early adopters to new technology, it's fully remote companies. The hybrid workflow really adds a whole different element of this. By show of hands, who is on a 3-day-a-week schedule back in the office? All right, that's some of you. My hunch is the thing that you get out of it, or one of the things you get out of it, is shoulder time. It's just I can bump into people, I can exchange something, I can exchange knowledge or exchange ideas with people. We have brought back and captured shoulder time in the virtual way, and it really is something. My wife's joke about the pandemic for the last 3 years is she's worried that she's gonna walk down into my office and find out the Ethernet cable has just been unplugged this whole time and Erik's made it all up. Because I have been engaged with people I started the company. My work day is a little bit longer, I'll admit. I'm kind of a 10 to 12 hour guy, and I've been talking to people for 10 to 12 hours a day for 3 years in Katmai, solving problems, building relationships, building friendships, building professional relationships, raising money. One of the gentlemen that I met before I raised money logged in and he said, this is not fair. You're gonna get to raise money inside of the product. This is cheating. and it was an interesting thing. And I actually counter that and say, no, there's still no substitute for going and sitting down and getting to know the person. Because, if anyone here has run a startup or had to raise money before or do these things to keep your business growing, it's an investment in the idea, it's an investment in technology, but it's an investment in the person. And the people and the connection and the relationships that we can make is what is so central to what we're trying to do with Katmai. It's about the things that we hear that we're adding value are culture, mentorship, onboarding, doing interviews in Katmai, onboarding people in Katmai where there truly is this, hey, it's your first day. Let's go meet some people. We had a moment recently where we had a sales meeting and there was one of our investors has a Super Bowl ring. he played for the Seattle Seahawks. He knows everybody. He's a lovely investor and very helpful to Katmai. He's also got a key to our office. So Sydney just pops into our office like he would if we had a physical office, and if we were in Manhattan, he would stop by and say hello. Except for you get a little ding and it's like, oh, Sydney's in the office. Great. I wonder who he's here with. And we have these moments where someone that worked at Katmai was here at a sales meeting. Sydney came in and said hello. Like, oh, I'm here with so-and-so from this company. He's like, wait a minute, you mean John Smith from company X? I went to Harvard Business School with him. He's in the office right now? And they left and ran away and had a meeting, and my only response was like, that doesn't happen on meeting software. That doesn't happen on Zoom or Teams. I'm not talking poorly about these, but it's like this gap between in real life and meeting software. And this now applies to, the remote work revolution is still raging. The large companies want people to go back to the office. You've got 76 million square feet in New York City that is vacant. If you look at the Chrysler building, that is equivalent to 40 Chrysler buildings that are empty in New York City right now of office space. What does that say? That says we've given you freedom to stay at home. People want to stay at home. People want to have flexible lifestyles. Now that I can take my kids to school every day, I want to keep doing that. I actually refuse to let them ride the bus this year because I like driving them to school, and I get to do that now. So you have this other thing of what does work from home mean? What does return to office mean? I'm here to tell you that with our product and technology, when it loads properly, you can have both. You truly can have both of these things. We're not saying this is Big Brother. This is not like you better be here and clock in and clock out. We don't have clock in and clock out features. This is like, for an employer, it's visibility. For an employee, it's culture. And those things, the employer-employee part, start to go away when you're just like, oh, we're just in a place together. We have access to each other. Younger people can get mentorship opportunities that just don't happen unless you're very abrasive or aggressive on Zoom or Teams, or like a go-getter in the terms of like, oh, I'm gonna like schedule that one-on-one every week. I'm gonna be annoying to get 30 minutes of time or 15 minutes of time, and it gets forced. It truly gets forced. And so if you've ever been in a physical office and seen a door cracked open, that signals, oh, maybe I can knock and say, do you have 2 minutes? And that is the whole paradigm that has gone away for us with remote work, is the impromptu engaging, hey, do you have a second? So I would encourage everybody here, if you have a minute, it's all loaded up right over there at the Katmai booth. This is what happens. You get some new information, we adapt. Thankfully, I can talk about this for hours. I would love if anybody has any questions about it to find me over there and ask us. If even 10 of you come over and take a look at it, you can meet our staff. You can go into our office. You can sit down at a laptop and try it. It's like the easiest and most boring video game you'll ever play. The Office Simulator, right? It's like, but it's people on the other end of it. It's not avatars. It's not meetings. It's just people in a place. So thank you all so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. I'm sorry that my computer didn't work out, but thank you.